Just separate already, or is it going to be a fight? Your pentalobe and your Phillips, you don't match. Alright. A short one today. We have a... Well, here, we'll get into it with the little mat, the trusty mat. I'm going to lay our parts there and work off one, as always. I guess that's the one we want. Okay, we have an iPhone 6 Plus. Do I need to drop this? And level the camera some. Take it in digitally, I suppose. iPhone 6 Plus, long abandoned. There's typically two ways that we do things. We do take a look at some stuff, and it's like a no fix, no fee. Now, granted, if there is going to be a fee for no fix, we're like, look, if they want us to keep trying this or try that, wasting huge amounts of time, there is usually a small fee on stuff. This was, I took a look at it. I could do nothing with it at the time. It's been quite a few years since this problem came out, and I pulled this out of a box of stuff that was going to be recycled, and we're going to see if we can possibly revive it. What's the date on that paper? So that was February of 2017. Is that oh, that's over 2 years. It's junk. Unwanted, I would say. Long past the 30 days, and we've been tried for like a year. Like, hey, you want this? It's here. No go. So, unwanted. We're going to see if we can do anything with it. iPhones are not my specialty, but we're going to take a crack at it anyhow and see if just maybe there's something that can be done. Let's remove that screw. Need a tool. Not that one. Let's go for the newer one. Just stuck, or... Alright, we gotta unplug the battery first. Definitely don't want to mix up the screws. It's been so long since I've worked on an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus that I don't even remember where the long screw damage takes place. So we're just gonna disconnect it just to be safe. We need to disconnect our battery connector, which is here. That looks horrible. Let me adjust that quick. There, it's a little less glaring in our face. Whenever you get in here and pry on these small connectors, be careful, because there are all kinds of capacitors, resistors, different things that happen, or that are on these logic boards. So you definitely don't want to be prying with metal if you can help it. Alright, battery disconnected. We now need to go up and remove our display. We're going to pull this logic board if possible. So for now, let's pull the display out. One, two, three, four, five. what had originally happened to this phone, and I didn't get a specific number if there was one afterwards. I've never even seen this error happen, but it was an error 40. The phone, this is the report from the work order from 2 years ago. So it was an error 40, it shut down and never turned on again. The thing replacement we offered at the time was a home button and board replacement. They did not want to do that. This customer in question, or the customer concerned with this device in question here. And so, okay, that's all I know how to do at the time. And here we are. We're going to try something that quite possibly is going to ruin the board anyhow. Perhaps not. Hopefully not. No, I don't want to say ruin it, but definitely make it more unusable than it currently is. And if that fails, we're going to order a stencil and attempt to reball the one NAND chip in here. Okay, so to get this board out, we have to disconnect quite a few things. Let's start tearing this thing apart. Ah, I think there's one under there. Let's take a look. There is, okay. So it just simply goes under. Okay, it seems like the board stops there. Disconnect an antenna. Does it stop there or does it keep going? I don't think there's anything connected beyond that point. We can focus on the upper part now. And that board comes all the way across there. What a nightmare to tear all this stuff out. Now, what else do we have here? Let's take a look. We have these two that should pop off of there. 1, 2. What are you? Oh, that was something that, okay, that went down around the one jack. Let's dump that off. What else do we have to remove here? We have an antenna wire. I'm trying to find out where this logic board stops. I know we have to remove that screw there. I'm not sure about this. What is that even? Let's go for it. So it's not a camera. That's on the other side. Oh, see, okay. I see what you got going on there. You had a little metal wash around you. That means do you ground something somehow? One thing to pay attention to when tearing apart an Apple product are there little metal washers, little rings, anything in the holes where screws come out of that ground or connect pieces together. Okay, so we have that there. Does it unsnap from enclosure? It does, okay. Let's let that hang for now. We have a ribbon there. Let's let that focus. I don't know if this ribbon connector that is screwed in here connects under the board, or if it's an over type thing. I know we have a few things to tear out in this area. That's plastic, not a sticker, and that should be a sticker there. All right. Like 3 screws possibly holding the camera in. Okay, so there's that little rubber thing right there. There's our sticker that came off. We'll throw that there. One more screw here, and we should be able to pop out that camera assembly. And this one will go under. What a nightmare. Little iPhone. What happened to you? Did your NAND chip come unsoldered? Is that the problem? Alright, camera out. And we have a few screws holding the motherboard in. The SIM card and SIM tray holder is already pulled ahead of time. The SIM tray was used on another phone. Somebody had lost one or bent it, broke it. I don't exactly remember. Right, we have a few screws that are slotted, and we have up here to disconnect still. And a few one on the board there. So I believe we have this screw, the 2 slotted ones up here, and possibly this area. Let's continue the disassembly and see what happens. We're running out of room on the trusty black mat. And we have one up top. Wow. Okay, we're going to keep those two together. Well, I think we had one more of those over on this side. Indeed. Alright, there is a ribbon. There's some type of ribbon slash PCB over here. We'll throw this screw over beside that other bracket we just took out with the screw. We're going to pull our Phillips on the board and then let it there and throw our two slotted ones beside that. We're going to need, I don't have the fancy, what do you want to call it, Plus screwdriver that fits down over these sockets right onto these. I just use a flathead to release these screws. Alright, one. And two. Alright, let's find out if our main board is loose. Is it coming out of there yet? And if not, why? What am I missing? Everything appears to be free down here, as well as up there. I'm not seeing anything it's connected to, unless under this metal bracket. Right, we have these to pull back, and that will let the top part of the board release. And then we have this thing in question. And what is connected on the top part of this board? No flexes? Yep, one. One, don't rip, don't break. It's been way too long, and I can gladly say that I don't like iPhone 6s, 6 Pluses. And there we have our board out. Oh, so it did just pop off. We could have left it in, but hey, we got it out. Alright, our chip in question. This Toshiba chip right here. We're going to try and reflow it and get it very hot as it is, and hopefully not move any of these capacitors, resistors, fuses, whatever they may be on the sides of it. We just want this main big chip. We want to reflow that. Ah, we're doing the clear digital zoom. Okay, no wonder we can't autofocus on it. Alright, so that is what we're looking at. This Toshiba chip here, we got to try and reflow that. We're going to turn on our hot air station. I don't know, I don't have any way to clean it. We don't have an ultrasonic cleaner here, so I wouldn't be able to strip this down and throw it in there. I don't know if flux is going to be the thing to do it. I just think some hot air. We're going to put a lot of hot air to it and see how it works out. A few reports online of this working. I'm not holding my breath. Worst case scenario, we were going to have to pop it off of there, wait on a stencil, reball it, clean all the solder off of there, put some flux down, and then reattach this chip and see if it works then. Alright, alright. A moment, let's get the gun preheating. Soldering iron off, hot air on. Hey, CT, it's been a while. I don't know how old your chat was. My chat and restream isn't working. Let me see if I can go ahead and get it popped up. View, docs, chats. What's going on is I'm trying to... This iPhone 6 Plus got an error 40 shut down and never turned on again. Oh, that camera has the super shake. It's usually due the error 40, 15, 40, whatever is usually due to this NAND chip. We're going to go ahead and hit it with some hot air and reflow it. How is, if you're still out there, how is your podcast going? I saw you've done a few episodes. I usually try to catch you live. I don't always succeed. If you're still out there, I'd love to get you on one of the shows sometime that I do on Sunday, actually a live stream / podcast that I do with one of my friends. It's always good to talk to somebody else that creates content, whether it be a podcast, does the live streaming, so yeah. I think I reached out to you on Facebook as well. Hope you got... Alright, let's get some heat up. We're going to turn the heat up and keep the airflow to a minimum. Not a minimum, but we don't want to blow away any of our little capacitors or anything. We're getting ready to send some massive heat through that thing. Let's see if we can't help ourselves by laying some aluminum down on the one side. We're going to put some Kapton tape on it. That's a good piece of aluminum. That has some information stuck to it. We do have some Toshiba aluminum here. Is there something we can do to cut it out quick to save us a massive hassle? It looks like we have a wire on this side and we don't want to hit any of those there. Alright, let's get the Kapton tape and tape down each side. It's going to burn, obviously. We'll lay a heat shield over the one side, and hopefully this keeps the wire from melting on the other. Chat did open in my Restream console, so hopefully if anybody else says anything, we'll see it. How do we respond? We'll say something. tape, 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 tape. Let's back this off a little. We're going to brighten it back up just to hear anybody getting into any of this stuff. Buy yourselves one of the multi-box different size rolls of tape. You can see there are different size rolls in there. I know they kind of blend together, but you can see those separator lines. We have our super skinny, not as skinny, this one, then the super wide one. This tape is, I'm going to say, essential when doing work with hot air and even soldering. It can save you some hassle when soldering. Let's put you down. I don't think we're going to be able to get any flux to actually flow. And of course it didn't stick. Any flux to actually flow under that chip. We could put it around it and hope it would work its way under. I don't see it happening. Right. Trying to protect some capacitors there with that on the one side. I'm going to go ahead and put tape on this side to try and attempt to protect that wire. You know what? We have the technology here. We have the technology to cut this aluminum. This takes me back to my old days of doing flashing, soffit and fascia. Alright, and perhaps we'll trim up this. Oh, you get out of the way, you piece of plastic. This is an old laptop lid. Marvelous for making things out of it. We're not touching our chip. We are kind of covering our other chips there. We want to cover our wire, but first let's put some tape on over the wire. Just a little more insulation from the heat. And we're going to see if we can reflow this NAND chip with some hot air. We're really not going to be able to see much in the way of solder. Go silver. We have the shields on this thing. Let's get that off of the chip. I don't want any pressure on any part of the chip. Right, we will wrap that. Let's throw these on. Go for that little bit of protection. I think we are touching the edge of the chip, if I'm not mistaken. It's barely not there. But what we're going to watch for is the little bits of solder we can see down in there. We're going to wait for those, try and catch those going shiny. Nice shiny silver. And then we're going to go a little beyond that because we need to get the heat to go through this chip. And onto the rest of the board. We're going to cover up all this other sensitive stuff and focus our primary hot air right there. See how much heat we can pump into that thing. We're going to give a little more airflow. Let's see what we can do. Airflow is ramping up. Temp is up on the hot air station. I'm going to take a quick deep breath and pray to whatever being you think it is watches over you when you're about to pull out a massacre on some electronics. Like this iPhone wasn't dead enough, we're really gonna kill it. We're really gonna kill this one. Why not? Why? Why not? Can we move that? I wonder. Can we move this? Enough to keep covering and cover. Nah, we can't really cover all of that chip right, or all of that heat shield with the black tape. We can still see solder here, and on this side, let's go for it. Get our solder station, or our solder cord out of the way. Get the hot air out. I take that back. We're turning the airflow down. That was pumping out of there like, yeah, we're gonna get down to about 3.5. That other one, it probably would have blown some chips away. And here we go. Let's put some heat on it. Alright, solder is starting to melt. We're going to keep going on the chip a little bit longer. We've melted our tape. That aluminum is smoking hot, believe it. The aluminum is starting to warp a little. You can hear it popping if you're here. I'm going to call that. I don't like overdoing the heat. I usually, if I can reflow it twice, one time where it's not quite right, like I did with the Nexus 5X, and then another time where I went a few additional seconds in my head. Yeah, that I go for that versus overdoing it. Too much gusto, strong arming it, and it doesn't work out. So let's not be a complete moron and touch this stuff by hand. We're going to let that cool for a few more seconds. So our tape did catch some heat and pull back a little bit. That's hot out here and here, touching it. You lay your finger on there and you can feel heat. So we gotta let that cool for a few more moments before we start handling that. I don't feel like melting vinyl gloves to my fingers. Definitely not. He's out there. Dunny, are you out there? If you are, hop on YouTube. Get to the YouTube channel so I can at least get you in the chat on YouTube. Send a comment through. give you a wrench to make you the first mod if you hop on the YouTube channel. Ooh, it's still warm. Okay, it's cooling down now. It's cooling down slowly. It's getting there, getting to where we need it. And let's throw this back in the freezer. We don't want that melting. Look at that. Arch nemesis to electronics. You pick up a nice refreshing beverage, and what do? Something dumb like get water all over your gloves. I just stood in front of my hot air station without thinking about it. Great feeling, let me tell you. Great feeling. Alright, somewhat drier. Alright, can easily be handled. I don't know of a quick way to do this, so I don't have all the gear for working on iPhones out of the case. I'm not a pro at it. I mainly have done screen repairs and other component repairs, even ones where you have to solder, like on the iPads where you solder on, what is it, the LCD, the lightning connector. I forget which one solder on. Maybe both are on different models, like the iPad minis. Yeah, I've done that. But as far as component level logic board repair, reflowing the NAND chip on an iPhone 6 Plus, and first time here on this one. I've done it on some Android phones. But hey, there's always time to improve, learn. Should we have popped those IC shields off? I don't know. I don't think so. Not for something like this. Anyhow. No, that was me. I thought somebody else typed something. Let's reassemble and see what we have. Hopefully there's no overfill that when I put heat to it took and lifted any of our capacitors or resistors along the side. It is a nuisance. I don't know what model of phone they started doing that with. Alright. Turn the temp down so we don't cook our hot air. Let that cool down in the background. The trusty black mat. Oh, what a nightmare that's going to be. Why? I really hate these things. I do. Got our flash, so we need to keep these out of the way and sink the rest of this in. Forget about that one antenna for the time being. That was really too easy. Alright, let's work on it. I'm going to grab my other screwdriver set. The one by with those screwdrivers made by who knows. I've had them since the iPhone 4 days though, and they have served well. Turned many a pentalobe and Phillips screw. Plastic handles, plastic top. Not really much thought into the length of the handle for turning, but they do work. We've got our Phillips here, our pentalobe here. And they are still magnetized after all this time. We're going to work on rebuilding our iPhone 6 Plus now. Get out of the way, you. You are going to go up top, correct? And why this? It's a little thinner profile in that area of the screwdriver. You know, sometimes you want a skinnier shaft to not get in the way of what you're working on. Most times you do not want the skinnier shaft. Alright, we gotta rebuild this area too. Where is that blasted part? That was an absolute nightmare coming out, plus that other piece I threw it up here, and it has a screw that even goes with it. Alright, so our contact point is going to be there. Let go. Go in. We have to attach the screws that hold down our actual logic board, but we'll get to that. Let me darken this up. I forgot we're working on this again. Let's send it one more. There we go. Now that implies that that would go under and not over. Am I crazy in thinking this? And it's definitely where that goes. However, it may have to go under the logic board. That's what I don't know. Alright, let's put this screw in the top to hold that little piece in, and then we'll work on the rest. That piece to go in as well. All those other additional ones. The camera, I think, can go in now. And also, before we forget, let's put our Phillips screw and our main board down. Ooh, good question, good question. It goes here, beside the SIM tray, and then we will add our two flat, or the ones that take the Plus or X. I don't know what the particular driver is called. Let me think. Let's see if we have one in our iFixit kit. I don't think we do. I think that was much, much, much more of a specialty thing. Yeah, it didn't come with this basic iFixit kit. So We'll get our flat and put these two back in along the top here. Why might you want a screwdriver? So you're not fighting these the whole time. Or I guess the proper driver is a more accurate term. Alright, magnet it is, even though it doesn't stay on right. Alright, we have one. Not going to tighten it yet. We're going to get number 2 in. And then go after... Is that it? Is that it for the zoom? When tightening these screws down, in devices like this, you don't need to crank it. You don't need to crank it hand tight. You just finger tight, little twist. Let's route our speaker back on this whatever it is, antenna, mic. I don't know what this contraption is, but it needs routed in under these cables, as well as it needs clipped down in that there. Let's find our other plastic pry tool, as it has a blunt edge that will aid us in clipping that in. Alright, that's in. Wires back. What else came out of this corner? There was more stuff there. There's 3 screws with the washer. I'm trying to think what else was there. I don't think much else. Two and three. Put that one with the washer in the top there. Let's move this aside for the moment there. I don't think I showed you. I'm going to try and do this without knocking all my parts everywhere. But anytime I do an iPhone, I don't have any of the mats where you can just like remember where everything is. But I literally, that's what I do. I lay everything out with the screws in the pattern that they came out and try not to mix them up, bang into it. Had to drag that over. Alright, let's go put that back and bring our trusty black mat back into view. Going for the one with the washer now. Let's attempt to get the screw on the driver, then we'll pick up our little washer. What an annoyance that is. Okay, so far, so good. What else? What else do we have to put back in this beast of a thing? Let's go for the camera area next. We had that goofy piece of tape that came off. We had the camera, which sits in there as well. And then we had that metal shield with a little rubber piece, as well as there's one. I don't think we need the camera and everything. We probably could just hook up the screen quick and the stuff for our power and have it working. However, we're here. Let's go for it. But we have that piece to go in. If anybody sees where I'm messing up on this, let me know ahead of time. Alright, we have that one there. That goofy plate came out next. It wasn't over top of that, definitely. So let's put that screw in. Put the black, little piece of black tape, if there's anything left even sticky on it remotely. Let's throw that in. Alright, so we got that. You know what I forgot? We may have to take this out. I know there's a screw that goes there. Let's put it in. And then there's one more that goes on this, maybe on the downside. Let's see if we can just lift the connector for the camera to access that other screw. Hopefully with any luck, or probably not. And we can, okay, we're going to attempt to put it in there. Alright, So not a massive screw up, but comfortable definitely. Alright, there's that one. Now we just need to reconnect our ribbon cable. And that part is covered by the big thing. We have this one goofy one. We need to put this little, does it need to go back? Honestly, I don't know. But we're going to flip these up and throw this down over the one jack. The one connector here. We'll get that. It goes down around it. It's kind of hard to see. I know everything is shining, and we have that little rectangle that goes down around this where the one ribbon cable plugs in. It's back in place. I'm going to connect this one, connect that one, if it turns on, it does. If it don't, well then we'll try again some other day in the future. We'll get some more miles under our iPhone belt and come back to it. We'll revisit it. Did I get it hot enough for that, for any of the solder underneath the NAND chip to reconnect? I hope. I can't say I did for sure, but I hope I did. What else have we here? We have that top plate that goes and covers, connects there, there, there. And then we have the one that covers that area there, and the rest of the screws that go in down here. Let's put our tape up there, if there's anything left to it. So this piece of tape was in this neighborhood. We're going to use one tool to attempt to hold it somewhat in place, get the tweezers off, and throw it against the wall. Whatever sticks at this point is what's going to stick. And I think that is going to be it. Seems good there. We have this bottom part to rebuild real quick to get some stuff back in. We got 1, 2, and that goofy shield that ran underneath, which was this one. So that goes under, that goes on. And we have our connector to reconnect right here. Let's work on pulling that over, and we'll run the 2 screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go there and there. So 1 and 2. And this is probably where it matters. These screws look the same size, but I can almost guarantee they are not. Maybe they are. You know, we should look it up before we just go putting the thing together, but we're just going for it. We're going to put the one there, and then one will go under this ribbon cable here. We're about back together. If this fails, we're calling it a day. If this succeeds, we're still calling it a day. What a nightmare this is here, getting this one back in. Seriously now, how many attempts do we need? How many runs at this one? This is like that scene in White Men Can't Jump, where Woody Harrelson keeps trying to dunk. And it's just, you know, it's not happening. Same thing. Running up, and brick that ball right off the rim. And then bang. Does Snipes dunk in that movie, in that scene, or not? I've seen that. Alright, so we have, let's connect our little Wi-Fi antenna. If you've never seen that, White Men Can't Jump, amazing movie. Go watch it tonight. It's much greater content than this. Alright. Is our antenna wire on? Or does it fail? Is that a fail? That's on. Snapped in place and on. Good to go. We can connect this ribbon cable, at least for now. That one can be connected. We need to wait for the battery, and then the cover that goes over the battery and screws in there and there. I'm going to make sure it's all lined up. It should be. The screw under this ribbon cable here is indeed holding this whole bracket. It screws here, here, and then one under here. It's holding it in place. Let's connect our LCD, which these are always fun. That's a lie. They're never fun. Was iPhone 6 Plus back in the day of the connectors that were thin enough that they could actually bend when you're trying to connect it, and they could be half plugged in and it would bend? Is that like stuck back in iPhone 5? It's always this one that's off to the side that acts goofy for me, that I have a jolly good time trying to connect. For some reason it never goes where I need it to. It never quite plugs in or agrees with what I'm attempting to do to it, so is there a trick? I don't know. Get it under your finger and wiggle around and press down. Okay, so we have that. We have our last cable here for the screen that may or may not fight us. These ones are, mixed, kind of a mixed bag if they're going to go on or not. Indeed, we got it. We have all 4 of those connectors. Let's go for the metal plate and getting a screw or so in. Go for the bottom left corner for now. Okay, so we have one. We'll go for this one up here, on top right. It's a super long screw, at least on the iPhone 6 Plus. Don't quote me for any other model. Let's turn the fan down. Our gun is cooled down. The temp is down. And let it run there for a moment while we put these in, and then we'll switch it off. Generally, like I said before, I always minimum of like 3 to 5 minutes with the fan running on high after you're done using your hot air station to let it cool down. This seems like it was a very fruitless endeavor, but this thing had no response to plugging in, no response, no DFU mood, no recovery, no nothing. It was dead. Error 40 shut off. So that may not even have been the trouble. It could have been something else completely. From reading for a little bit at lunch today, though, that was what I'd come up with. What our status is. We're going to plug the battery in, put that plate on, and plug power into this thing to see. Did we nuke it? Is it complete? Is it still completely dead like it was? Battery connector connected, metal plate, 2 screws, and we can clip this shut and put a pentalobe screw in it. Of course, that's not going to go together like that. Alright, next to last screw. Or last one if you count this. Pen lobe, I don't really count those. That's outside. Last internal. Was it a complete waste of time? Did we learn anything? Do we have a super fancy abandoned paperweight? The lobe driver. We're going to go ahead and throw this in. Alright, and fairly tight. Alright, there we have it. Wonderful, magical iPhone 6 Plus. Will you ever work again? Let's get some power over to it and see what is the status. Do we get some type of symbol? Let's kill our light. We'll bring it back from the exposure compensation hell that I had to put the camera into. We got absolutely nothing before, but this thing's been stone dead for over a year setting. Yeah, exactly what we're dealing with again. Stone dead. No power. We'll try plugging into a computer. Just for a quick laugh, let's flip over the lightning cable. You ever run into one of those ones where it likes to really laugh at you? Yep. Fancy paperweight. So, no fix on that one, I'm going to say. Possibly with a super stone dead battery, it may take a while to charge to get it to flash but I don't think so. I think we should at least see something if we start putting power to it. No buzz, no nothing. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic and plug into the computer, but I'm going to mute the mic and turn up before I do anything to see if the computer, if we get a dong. Okay, are we back? Yeah, we're back. Okay, so we got a dong in iTunes. iTunes has detected an iPhone in recovery mode. You must restore this iPhone before it can be used with iTunes. iTunes, agree. Alright, where's this iPhone? Here, oh, sorry. Let's go over to the LCD. I didn't mean it. So, iPhone 6 Plus. It's in recovery mode, allegedly. Let's click restore iPhone. Restore and update, sure. 1243. Yeah, why not? Next. 752. Agree. That's it. Just click done. We get a status report up here. 2.96 gig. Okay, that can come down the pipe quick. We do have a business connection. What are we going to possibly do for 14 minutes? What are we going to do? Let's take a little look. We'll take a little see. I don't expect this to work. I actually expect this to fail. Flop. Swan dives flat on its head, its face. You really think this iPhone 6 Plus is going to work? No, we're not even getting a... It could be in recovery mode. Did it dong and detect before? No. But, we'll see. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. 13 more minutes till this wonderful magical iPhone 6 Plus gets to laugh at me again. Alright, what can we do? What can we do for a few minutes? Okay, that is there. We'll take it upward. You are Phillips. Alright. What do we have here? We've got that and that and this. Let's see what the oh, I know what this problem is. Okay, so Anybody watching now and in the future, tell me, have you heard anything about LifeLock AOL? Is it a legit service? Let's look it up for a moment, shall we? Let's look it up. Let's go over to the LCD. We're at the 12-minute mark. LifeLock AOL. For AOL members, LifeLock member benefits, LifeLock AOL premium subscription. Identity theft protection, LifeLock AOL help. AOL. Now we're going to put the word scam after that and see. Is LifeLock a scam or worth it? LifeLock bug exposed. Millions of customer email addresses. July 25th, 2018. Alright, so somebody got subscribed to this. I don't know if it was by a legit person or by, how do I want to say it? Let's go, iTunes. Sorry, iTunes. I don't know if it's by a legit representative of AOL or LifeLock selling it, 11 minutes, but that's what they got subscribed to. They felt that it was very, very scamish when the person had called. She said she really couldn't remember if they had a foreign accent or not, so if they did, I'm guessing the person didn't have much of one if calling from one of the call centers. Oh, wow. Wow. Alright. Let me take a peek under the lid of this to make sure there's not post-it notes and all kind of indications of passwords everywhere. What is this thing? I didn't even get to open it yet. Going by the port layout, we have Ethernet modem, 2 USB, either 2 or 1, serial, VGA, power, more USB. Seems like that is locked. It is with the screw, so you can't eject it. We have our hard drive here, PCMCIA slot, another card slot there, perhaps remote, who knows, 1394, mic, headphone, and our Kensington lock. This looks, oh, and a dock on the bottom. Let's open this all the way and see. Is this a D620, D610? Which one is this? Bum, bum, bum. D630. I said what, 620, 610? You can't get it right all the time. It is time to upgrade. Has anybody taken a look at this computer? Take a look at this. This thing would run Linux great. Yes, I agree. It would 100% run Linux great, and would speed it up and perhaps give it a slightly new life. It's time for an upgrade. We got to let this person know they're, yeah. Oh my. An oldie but goodie. These were, my experience with them, reliable. I owned 2, I'm going to say. I switched out my track point for a red one, I think. Or perhaps a gray and black one off of a newer Latitude. Very nice condition. Never been used. Who needs a blue track point? Go find your own. This one's mine. No, just kidding. Alright, there you go. This is going to wait till tomorrow, but for now, we're going to take a look at it, and then we'll dig into the LifeLock thing. Here's what I want to see. Are we on DDR or DDR2? Wow, I did not, I thought the computer would be a little newer than this. A little newer. Two gigs of PC2 5400S66613. What is that? ZZ for the time? So it's DDR2. I mean, it's not that old, but it's not that new either. Let's let's look this up real quick. We'll spend a minute doing this, and we're going to check on our iTunes and see what's going on there. Oh my, new computer time. New computer time. All right. 6 minutes left. I'm not even going to pull the CD-ROM, it's too much work. Released in 2007, the D630 is an update of the D620 design. It differed most significantly in being based on the newer Santa Rosa Mobile 965 chipset, which supported the 800 models of the Mobile Core 2 Duo, both the Memron and a later Penron based 8 and 9 series. So what, like the B810, B920, whatever they were, the Celeron and Pentium chips. Wow, 2007 to 2017 is 10 years. We're 2 years past that, so 12 years, 13 years. Still running. Everybody rush out and get a D630 today. Don't delay. Get your 13-year-old computer today. Alright, yeah. Coming up tomorrow. You can't wait. Admit it. It's going to be great. Great content. We'll make it great again. iPhone and recovery mode. I know this is going to take more time than that, but I'm going to start cleaning up, doing other stuff. Based on the fact that we have nothing on the screen, no way to show nothing on the screen, if I see it light up, it's going to be wonderful, magical. I'm switching to iPhones. Not really. Don't take that serious. Let's get the stuff. What are we going to do today? 3 minutes. 3. We're at 2.46 out of 2.96. So, under half a gig left, roughly. Yeah, about half. Excuse me. Ooh, that Coke didn't go over well. I had a Coca-Cola, a pulled pork sandwich, and some beans for lunch. It was excellent, excellent food from a newer pop-up barbecue place. Not pop-up, but a barbecue place that popped up recently, I'm going to say. Not real recently, but recently enough that it still qualifies as new to me. Let's get our tasty beverage out. I'm just going to let that timer tick down running, and let's see, I'm checking our restream. We got one person out there. Amazing. Amazing. Going on 13 years old and still doing what it do. I died. I checked that computer and I really should have looked in the bag. I gave it a thought, like, should I look in the bag? Do they have some 2000 computer in there? Nah, it can't be. That's a nice bag. It's got to be newer than that. Nope. Nope. Alright, let's put the screwdrivers back. Just lace them up there for the time being. Put the broom back. Do I have prompts over there waiting to click? If they're there. Don't say it if they're not. Alright. Now we software update done. Preparing to restore software on this iPhone. What do we say? What do we say? Let's how long is this cord? Will it make it? We can probably force it. I don't want to unplug it or disconnect it. So I'll try to uncoil this to the best of my ability without unplugging it. And we got one more flip and we can throw it over here. We will, it says it's waiting for the iPhone. Let's do, where? No way. Shut up. That's the cam link back. We're going to add an existing cam link back. I doubt it's going to work. I seriously doubt it. Look at that. Look at that. And put that right there. That's an Apple logo. I didn't think it was going to get that far. It still probably will not work. Here's what I'm thinking. That it's going to fail at this part here. It didn't bong or anything when I plugged it into Windows before. Didn't do nothing. Alright, the iPhone cannot be restored. An unknown error occurred. So there's that unknown error. 40. Look at that. So we did get the Apple. We did get it turned on. But we have this pesky error here. Let's hit more info. Check your computer's security software. Try again. Yeah, that's not going to work. I was hopeful for a minute. I mean, that's progress in a certain sense. Same error code. It's blowing that same error code, but at least it bonged and it attempted the restore. Baby steps. Baby steps. No thanks. No surveys. Not for us. If we unplug it, it immediately shuts off. If we plug it in, we get nothing on the screen. A known error occurred there. And when we plug it back in, we just get unknown error occurred. Yeah, so unknown error. So at least we got to, I don't know, perhaps it'll be worth a revisit. We have more stuff to do. We have actual work to do. That was just, a gimmick, something to do with an abandoned device. Anyhow, it's time to get out of here. I am shutting the shop down. Thanks for checking this out. It was just not really for a laugh, but like, will it work? Can we reflow this? Is it even at all possible? I don't do the iPhone board repair, like component level on this stuff. It's brand new to me. I want to learn. I've seen a lot of people do it. Would love to get into it. This stuff is only getting smaller, more complex, harder to repair. So, yeah, what better time to hop in than the present? Okay, so here, just another update. If we kept clicking a little bit, let's restore the iPhone again. Restore and update. Do you have to download that all again? Extracting. So it's going to reboot it, and perhaps work, not work, I don't know. Transform, rotate 180 so it represents reality. Okay. Extracting software, see if it reboots. I know it's just going to fail. We're going to get our error code 40 again, but I had this plugged in all night and tried this earlier today. This did not happen, would not happen. Maybe we got some pins connected, but not all. I don't know. There's a bunch of little balls under that chip that we put the heat to. So we'll revisit in the future. Like I said, we have actual work to do. Thanks for hanging out and getting your hands dirty, ears dirty, listening to my blabbering, whatever you want to call it. We'll be back again with something good tomorrow. We're waiting on more parts for the microscope over there and our micro pencil. Yeah, thanks for clicking that link. CT Radio, I don't know. I always miss your messages. I don't get them right away. Seems like you're here and then you dip out. I don't know. Another error code blown. But yeah, if you get it, see that I responded, I'll actually respond on a computer, and then hopefully you'll see it. Love to get you on the show. Dunny, stop in the YouTube chat sometime. I'm going to give you a wrench mod. You'll be the first guy, the first mod ever on my channel, if you want to. Yeah. With that, have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Enjoy it. If you like this stuff, share it. Spread it, get it out there. Like this, share this. It's a failure. We can't win every time. Hopefully we can start winning more than we lose, though. Thank you.